Good night, everybody. Welcome back. Welcome back to the community health conversation. We took a short break there. I hope you guys are back with us and well. And if you're not well, let us keep your company this evening. I am your host, Tom Wilson, alongside Pastor Daniel. How are you feeling, Pastor Daniel?
Oh, absolutely doing well. And welcome to all of you, our wonderful listeners. It's been a little while, about 2 months break. Now we're back on the same platform. Of course, as always, we are totally grateful to Island Vibe Caribbean Station for their partnership with us on this project. As many of you will recollect, we are actually sponsored by the Philadelphia Department of Public Health for this initiative to bring awareness in our community, particularly the immigrant community. And we are talking about public health awareness, those things that affect our community. But most importantly, we deal with this for every season. As you all know, we have 4 seasons in America, and currently we just started another season yesterday. Four. We ended summer officially on Saturday. Now today, on the second day of fall, you already start experiencing the real fall. For I don't know about those of us in the Philadelphia area, you would notice that yes, you already start experiencing it's getting a little bit chilly. The leaves are falling. Some people getting cold, sick, flu, and all of that. So it's important we talk about those things that concern our community. And that's why we are here to be able to share this information. We want to thank you, Ms. Tom, for joining us in the background, and Mr. George, who is controlling the whole thing at the background.
Guy, thank you so much. Guys, we have the show that's coming up this season is going to be amazing. We're going to do everything a little better. We'll have more in-depth conversations. We're going to have amazing guests on this platform. We're also going to be changing up our topics a little bit, and we're going to reach out to you guys to let us know what you guys want us to talk about. What do you want to hear more of? And if you guys have a guest in the healthcare field that you think needs to be on this show, we welcome that as well. And we really, 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 really want to stress that you would want your guys' participation. Please write in the chat, discuss with us. We read it all the time in real time. So please get involved because this is as important to you as it is to us. And it's called Community Health Conversation. I am not a healthcare specialist, and Pastor Daniel isn't either. But we are talking about stuff that we deal with on a daily basis. Again, coming up in the show for this season, we are taking it to the next level. We're going to have a lot of amazing guests on. Pastor Daniel is Miss Kebe joining us this season.
Yes, she is. Today, only today she's going to be absent, but she's
She's
going to go.
absent today, but we have Miss Quebec joining us this
Yeah.
season as well. So we're gonna miss her today, but she's definitely going to be on. Again, if you have any questions or you have topics that you think we need to discuss, please feel free to drop it in the chat.
That's right.
Right now, we are going to talk about something that's happening for most of us, and it's back to school. I have no stories about back to school. If anybody know me out there, they know my son is a baby. He's just turned 16 months. Six,
Ah,
right.
congratulations.
So no back to school for him. But I definitely see all the kids walking by with their bags. And I've spoken to a lot of parents who are making the shift from summer to school. Just getting your kids up in the morning to go to school is a task now because they're accustomed sleeping in late. Are you experiencing that, Pastor?
Oh, absolutely. And we're talking about seasonal change. It's visible right in my own house. You know, my kids, I have my son just turned my second youngest son turned 8 years old this week.
Yay. Happy birthday.
Yeah, last week Thursday he turned 8 years old, and then my daughter who is 6.5. So but they one of the things I just learned is that when you wake them up, they've been used to seeing sun rays coming through the windows, or by them opening the window and seeing outside clear. Now it's dark a little bit. So when you wake them up, you say, no, it's still dark. And then you literally, I literally have to take this time and show them, hey, it's almost 7 o'clock. You're getting late. You need to go. Then, even though it's still dark, because they expecting that, the
The
sun got
light.
up like the way the summer was, and they feel like, oh, I'm staying in bed at this time. I'm not supposed to be in bed.
Mm-hmm.
So now I have to show them practically the time. So that's one thing people need to be aware, especially our immigrant community who are not yet used to the season here. So you need to understand that moving forward, we will be experiencing a shorter day
Days
and
and longer nights.
yes. And by the time we hit November, we will now change the time zone will change to by 5 hours. So you need to be prepared with all of that.
And
But
it's still going to be shorter days. Like, even though the time zone has changed and it's not something that happens to the rest of the world, but here in the US it does happen, it's still shorter days. You still wake up and it's still dark outside. And
Mhm.
what are some of the ways that you could counteract that or deal with it? I think one of them is making sure you set your alarm at night so that you know.
Absolutely. So again, one of the things that you need to do and is that to ensure that since people will be going to bed soon, and probably they might wake up middle of the night because you might have gone to bed soon. Since it's going to be cool moving forward, you want to make sure you set your alarms on, but on top of that, you want to make sure that you prepare yourself, pre-position or pre-prepare. In other words, make sure you get your kids' uniform, iron, get it set, so that in the event someone wakes up late, they are able to catch up. That you
Yep.
don't rush in the bathroom to take bath, and then you are waiting to press the clothes again and all of that. So you want to make sure that during the night you get everything set up. Set it up, get everything ready, get their shoes ready, get their assignment all done ready. You don't want to take chances to say, oh, you know what, I'm tired. Tomorrow morning we'll do this before you go to school.
And
There's
even
a
if that
tendency.
happens, because it happens to the best of us, have a game plan. Because sometimes, like as parents, we're just that tired. Like, you go to bed the night before the night and you went to bed a little earlier, you didn't prep, you think, oh, I'll get up in the morning and do it because you were so tired. Have a game plan for that, just in case it happens. Like, for example, I know when we were younger, my mom always had a extra pair of uniform already ironed that she did on a Sunday in the closet, just in case you didn't get to it the night before. It was just one extra pair of uniform that was ironed and in the closet, just in case you woke up the morning and you didn't get a chance to iron your regular uniform. Or
Hmm.
I mean, like, we've spoken and touch mental health a little bit, and sometimes you just didn't get ready the night before. Like, if most parents are accustomed getting ready the night before, you have your schedule, there are just days when you can't. So have a game plan even for that, for the days when you can't.
Hmm.
When you go to bed early, you were just that tired to get up the night before. And they are simple. Luckily, we will live in a day of technology now, so I see that they have those morning lamps. Pastor, did you see those? Like, it comes up at a time of normal sunrise, like it was the light gradually comes on at 6 a.m. So, and it's the daylight.
Wow.
It's Yeah, so you, and it's like, it's inexpensive. Like, they start from like $35, but you program it with your phone and the light gradually turns on in the room, and it's that daylight bulb from 6 a.m. So there's that as well. There's setting your alarm. There is, like Pastor said, preparing the night before. If you don't get to do that, have a just in case. You know what a just in case is, Pastor? Do you guys
Yeah.
use that word too? A just in case, an extra pair of uniform, an extra outfit. Like, and you do that usually, for me, it's a Sunday. You prep that on a Sunday. Whereas Um, and you know that just in case something happens in a week when you didn't get prepared, there are so many things that you could do. Again, have if you're living with your partner, if you miss one night, that person catches up with you. You know, if you don't have a partner, then you gotta put a lot of just in case
That's right.
in
That's
place.
right. Yes, that I mean, in our community, we say men can tell, right?
Making what?
Men can tell, man can tell, men can tell, right? In
Man
other
can't
words,
tell.
yeah, just in case, right? You never tell what happened. You never tell what happened. All right. You never tell what will happen, what emergency will erupt, and so forth. You know, and that's important, especially if you are a person that maybe like me that love to do things last minute of time. Sometimes you get caught up, emergency come, and now you are all caught up in the spider web. So it's important that you really, because one of the lessons I, particularly being a father, a parent, and raising children, one of the lessons I've learned is my kids, especially they have gym, they have art work, they need to be to school early. You will see them really pressurizing you to make sure you take them early to school. They never gave you chance. They never gave me chance when they have to go, and especially when they have to go to their mass. They call it mass or chapel, right? They have to go early. You see that they you wake them up. They are excited to wake up right away, and so forth. Compared to the
And yeah, they don't want to be late. It's not a good thing for them to be late, so they're making sure you're on time. And
yes.
again, like even if it's that meal, like prep that extra meal, like boil two extra eggs on a Sunday, you have it. It's just in case.
Mm,
And that fatigue feeling, it's so weird because I was speaking to a couple of parents just today, and they're having that back to school brain fog. Like, you know, you had the whole summer. If they got up late, it's okay. You could feed them almost anything. Now you have to go back to a structure because they're in school, so you feel that pressure of them
mm.
going right back to school. That's going to pass. You're going to fall back into your routine again. It'll definitely pass. And again, for our mental health, sometimes when you just don't do one thing, that's okay. You'll catch up tomorrow.
That's
And
what.
you'll catch up tomorrow. Like, so I don't know about fathers, but I know mothers. The more I talk to mothers, the more I realize that they are so hard on themselves when they don't get something done, and that contributes to the breakdown of your mental health. So you might want to just say, hey, I didn't get that done today, I'll definitely get on it tomorrow.
Yeah. And that's why exactly we're talking about here. And that brings us to like, you got to be prepared, and what this program is giving us is to help us be educated in terms of preparedness, right? Things that are happening, how we should really be ready for every single thing. Because you see, if we don't prepare, we really get messed up our day. If you don't plan your day well, you mess the day up. And once your morning is screwed up, there's a likelihood that it will take you a chunk of time or significant amount of time for you to put yourself together to start becoming productive, right?
It
Because
trickles down to the rest of the day. It
yeah,
the morning is off, the rest of the day it's hard to catch up.
that's right.
Hard to catch up.
That's right. So to avoid being unproductive, you really want to make sure that you prepare yourself ahead of time, and by doing that you give yourself an edge, right? You give yourself an edge to be on top of things, to be on top of the game, on top of the day. And of course, once you leave the house with the sense of energy in you and no amount of how will I put it, stress, you definitely will realize that that day you become more productive, right? So
Definitely.
yeah, so to do so, and one of the things as parents, one of the things that really kind of make our day screw up is when we rush in the morning, and you rush in, you take in, you put the handbag there, you put this one, you put the one, you want to leave the house, the stress, moving around to close the door and all of that. It kind of take a lot from you.
I am so guilty of that. It's weird. I always have 3 bags in my hand, especially with my son.
Did I just speak to you?
It's a lot, but you're prepared, and it looks like a lot sometimes, but I am definitely prepared. One bag is his, one bag is mine, the car seat, the this, the that. So it seems confusing, but if you are calm in your chaos, that's what you need. And again, be prepared. Like, for example, the day you don't get to prepare your lunch, have something in your desk you could grab. Have a menu in your desk that you could, where you could get good food from. It's just something, and we all need to be more prepared and prepare for the days that you're unprepared. Not just.
That's right. And talking about that, parents gotta drop their children off to their schools, and sometimes the kids need to wait for the bus. And then all of those things, you need to focus your time to make sure that the children don't miss the bus, or you are not dropping them late and then you are going to work late. So
and then your project is late, your lunch is late,
everything, yes.
Everything is late.
That's why we're talking about preparing here. You want to make sure, like, you really just brought something up, making sure that the children lunch is, if they're carrying lunch, okay, to school, you want to get that done as early as you can. If you didn't prepare overnight, you want to make sure that that is prepared way ahead of time, as early as you can. So the bottom line here is we want us to be ready, because you see, time is so important. Time is everything. Time is so important. That's why we get paid by hours, right?
The most valuable thing that you cannot get back is time.
You get paid by, you go to work, you get paid by hours, right? Even if you are a regular salary person, they're going to tell you, okay, you spend is 40 hours per week. So your employer pay you 40 hours per week. So you want to make sure that nothing is short or less of that. So you want to make sure that you can put yourself together. And the best way to be able to avoid stress and putting so much on yourself is to be able to think ahead of time, organize yourself, right? Like I mentioned, if your kids are using uniform, let's say 1 or 2, you already have them set. You have specific place you put them, right? So that way you can easily go and take them. And then for schools that don't require uniform, you want to make sure that you can get your children at least 6 set of clothes, right? Just in case something happened with the other one.
And here's a secret: buy the clothes that don't have to iron, like this.
You think so?
I know so. I am speaking from experience. It's sad to say, but I now look to see if something doesn't, if I don't absolutely love something, I do not buy it unless it doesn't have to iron. That's the life we're living now. Because there's those shirts, male shirts, female shirts, the iron-free shirts. You don't have to iron, the wrinkle-free ones. It's worth spending the extra money to get the investment into that, especially with the busy lives. I have noticed that my life is way more busy than when we're in the Caribbean, here in the US, versus where we come from. With that, guys, we said time is valuable, and now it's time for a break, and we want to make sure we take those. We're going to be playing music. Our sponsors are going to be in the background. I'm your host, Tom Wilson, alongside Pastor Daniel, and this is Community Health Conversation.
All your hits, banging right here. Philly #1 Caribbean station, islandvibes.net.
And something good gonna happen in this year, and I am grateful that I made it here. Yesterday's gone and a new day has appeared, and I am grateful that I made it here. Blessings gonna find me here. Oh yeah, favor gonna find me here. Oh yeah. I miss say money gonna find me here. Blessings gonna find me here. Oh yeah. blessings I'm embracing. Hey, healing have to come my way. Blessings have to come my way. Winning, we winning, and we here to stay. Is the blessings me say will find me here? Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I miss if ever gonna find me here. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Tell them that money gonna find me here. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I miss the blessings gonna find me here. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Tell them me claim it. All of my blessings, my name it. With faith me I go own it. Nothing shall get home it. Speak life, it is a new day. All things in my past, yeah. Welcome to the new year. Me step out in faith and no fear. Blessings go find me, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I miss if ever gonna find me here. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Money gonna find me here. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I miss the blessings gonna find me here. Oh na 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 na. Puff puff pass, my Mary Jane. I'm high on life, wanna meditate. So allow me, make I enjoy life. Cause problem not the finish, oh eh. Every day different wahala. Problem not the finish, oh eh. Skibidi da da di day. I just wanna party every day. Skibidi da da di day. I just wanna party every day. So pass me the dutchie. Pretty girl come wine pon the cocky. 10 toes, one girl make it touch it, touch it, touch it, touch it, touch it, touch it. Pass, pass, pass me the dutchie. Pretty girl come wine pon the cocky. 10 toes, one girl make it touch it, touch it, touch it, touch it, touch it, touch it, touch it. Shut up and bend over. Aye. Let your back do the talking over. So back up and bend over. Let your back do the talking over. Say, I want to chop my life. I want to be happy. I want to dance and party. Feel the rhythm of my body. Skibidi da da di day. I just wanna party every day. Skibidi da da di day. I just wanna party every day. So pass me the dutchie. Pretty girl come wine pon the cocky. 10 toes, one girl make it touch it, touch it, touch it, touch it, touch it, touch it. Pass, pass, pass me the dutchie. Pretty girl come wine pon the cocky. 10 toes, one girl make it touch it, touch it, touch it, touch it, touch it, touch it, touch it. Puff, puff, pass, my Mary Jane. I'm high on life, wanna meditate. So allow me, make I enjoy life. Cause problem not the finish, oh eh. Every day different wahala. Problem not the finish, oh. Pass me the dutchie. Pretty girl come wine pon the cocky. 10 toes, one girl make it touch it, touch it, touch it, touch it, touch it, touch it. Pass, pass, pass me the dutchie. Pretty girl come wine pon the cocky. 10 toes, one girl make it touch it, touch it, touch it, touch it, touch it, touch it, touch it. Puff, puff, pass.
And I've been living fast life, but I see it in slow. Oh no, and you see my lifestyle, I got G's in the double. See many people there outside where they feed man's oboe. Oh no, and me I stand the defender like Joseph Yobo. But girl say she want Netflix and chill, so I chatty get even money. If you fall in love, Kelly satin. You go to breakfast, I'm not capping. Can you see dripple, I'm not catchy. I'm not faking this, no fugazi. You see these feelings, I'm not catching. I'm on quest and feet, I just want it.
Happiness. If I broke, now my business. Philly #1 Caribbean station. IslandVibes.net.
Hi guys, welcome back. This is the Community Health Conversation. I'm your host Tom Wilson, and my co-host is Pastor Danielle. we were talking about before the break. We were talking about getting ready for school. The shift from summer break to kids back in school now. We're gonna continue to talk with mental health along the same lines of switching from summer to fall, and what that could do to our mental health. Is people underestimate how that shift can make you more depressed or wish for summer again, right, Pastor?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
You
And
feel
that's
yourself like I have.
rightly there, because it's important for us to really help our people, particularly the immigrant community, being immigrant ourselves, to really know that it gets stressful at times, right? And so when we talk about seasonal change now, you've been seeing the sun being hot, you've been having long days, but also the weather being really extremely hot, and now you're about to switch that all along suddenly. You're about to get into the cold. But not only that, the leaves, they fall. Okay. For those of us that got trees in front of our homes or at the back of our homes, those leaves will be falling and you need to be cleaning them. But also the flies. And then also sometimes you go to some places, the roaches, all of that, and you see the bees, mosquitoes, they stay around, right? But it brings real mental tension for people, right? And the fall is around, the flies are all over the place and so forth. Sometimes it kind of create different mental tension for people, and how we need to deal with it. So the real question may be, not maybe, the question is, how does the change of the season now, that we just ended summer and now we are in fall, how does it affect our overall mental health being?
I think part of it is there's two things that happen, right? The change of its season itself, like um, just the atmospheric pressure drops from summer to fall, going through that, and that impacts your body. And that small shift, we may not notice it physically on the outside, but it does, do something to your brain. And it's been proven that that does happen, and we have to look out for that and therefore prepare for it by putting things in place to lift your spirits. That's one thing. And again, if you're switching from summer to now your kids going to school every day, you have to go back to being on a schedule. There's less events. There's not that much to look forward to on the weekends, as summer has everything. Like it's just a full mind shift. Like it's a full shift. And the stress of going back to school, the depression of fall itself, it's getting colder, looking for new clothes, preparing for that. Some days are, it's not like summer where all the days are hot anymore. No, some days are hot, some days are cold. You don't know what to expect from week to week until autumn really evens out. So there's a lot of stuff goes on mentally, and because each thing is something small, we don't really prepare for them. But it's like me with my business. Small things we could deal with, but when small things accumulate, it becomes a big problem. And
That's and when you were talking, something just sparked out that I want to share. One of the things that stresses people, particularly even with kids, school growing children, is the worriness as to whether I should take on sweater, jacket in the fall, right? Because you think, oh, is it going to be cold today? Because in the morning it might be good, right?
and then in the afternoon you're like, it was supposed to get warmer, it got colder because the
Yes,
season haven't even out yet. And it's, you don't know what to your human beings, we like comfort and we like routine, and any big shift, any big change is disturbing to us, whether we like to admit that or not. So preparing for it is the best way to avoid being depressed without even knowing it. How much people have slight depression or major depression and they don't even know it? They just think this is a part of it, and this is just the season, this is just this is just that, neglecting our mental health because we feel like we're taking care of our physical health. And sometimes it's physical stuff that we're doing that's messing with our mental health. Like, for example, in the summertime, you get out a lot more, you walk a lot more, you move a lot more, and that has been proven to enhance our mood, release endorphins. Whereas it's getting autumn, we're starting to nest, as we say. We're staying inside more, we're not moving around as much, we're not releasing as much endorphins. So now our mental health is declining and we don't even know why, when we feel like we're not even doing anything major. So keep all those things in mind. You still want to keep walking around, you still want to exercise, you still want to keep active, busy, read a book, like keep your mental strong. When we neglect those things, it's fall now, and there's a reason why a lot of the newest TV shows, the new episodes, the new seasons, everything comes out in fall, right? So you're in watching a lot more TV, and even that's messing with your mental health, just sitting on the couch watching TV. I have found myself, and I am ashamed to admit this, but this season I have found myself binge watching stuff that's really old, like Eureka and stuff like that. And one episode got a hold of me, and now every night I had to watch one, so I didn't do everything what I'm supposed to do for a whole week.
That's right. And I mean, just again to add on that, like I was saying earlier, to state that, are people worrying about, oh, the weather is good this morning, and then sometimes you even forget that you want to take the light jacket with you, but you won't notice it, until you leave the house, and then you start feeling the chill, and then all of a sudden say, oh my gosh, right? I don't know why I left my jacket out.
It's definitely the season for layers.
Yeah. So to do that, let's go back on the table to say it's important you check the weather in the morning.
Check the weather in the morning, and also always walk. And for those of us who have kids, always walk with an extra layer. Like always walk with that, like you said, light jacket instead of wearing one junky sweater, because some places you go in, it's warm, some places it's cold. Try a t-shirt with a light jacket. That way you can zip it up if it gets a little cold, and you can take it off if it gets hot. We're not really deep into fall yet to say the temperatures have significantly dropped. So, like, for example, when we went to bed last night, it was nice and warm. We woke up this morning, it's cold. So even just making sure you have the right comforters on your bed instead of just the sheets you use in the summer, like all of that, preparing in that way. Your shoes, you wear toes out, because this morning it was nice. It's coming down to lunchtime and the weather didn't get warmer, it gets colder. So now your toes are out and you're feeling cold.
That's right. That's right. And so you see, in fact, some people, they because some people can forget, what they do is they just leave one of their maybe layover in the car, right? So that but the disadvantage also on that is, if it sleeps in the car, it might even get cold or colder, right? And then in the morning while you're driving, maybe you say, oh, I feel a little bit chill, let me pull it on and warm myself, and then it's really cool, you can't use it. So all of those kind of bring mental tensions, right? So how do we overcome those kind of mental tension? By preparing. We need to make sure that we can prepare ourselves ahead of time, right? Find out to know every morning, at least. I know, not many of us are really TV people, but if you can watch the news to look at the weather, then you want to also make sure. I mean, most of the
it's everywhere. I mean, like, it's weird because I make this comparison. Coming from the Caribbean, it's either warm or hot. That's the weather. It warm, hot, or hotter. That's what it is. I have never checked the temperature until I moved to the US. Never. I have never known what temperature it was in the Caribbean. It was just rain or not. So coming here, if you're an immigrant coming here, you want to remember to check the weather all the time. And I think that's one of the things we don't have to remind people, because they're not used to the weather change. So they tend to check the weather all the time. But coming here, you want to make sure you prepare for the weather. Something as simple as make sure you have a light jacket, like a little jeans jacket or something, but you are a little warm always. Like just have it with you. Whether it's in the car or in your bag, there's those fold up ones now. And you want to prepare ahead of time to make sure you're good. Like keep a pair of sneakers in the car. People don't want to do that, but it really helps you in the long run. Let's say you have an extra 10 minutes, you could go for a walk. You could not. The kids, and believe it or not, when the children see us doing this, they grow up with a mentality of preparedness, to be prepared all the time and not be last minute or not be together. We have to do that. I can't express to you how much I miss being back home and I just have to put on a slippers to go to the corner. And then I come here and it's autumn or winter and I have to put on a full blown boot or full jacket or everything just to go to the corner store to grab something to come back. We as immigrants have to get accustomed to that and know that that happens. Like, and you miss stuff in the store. Know that today we live in an amazing time that you could prepare that way. Let's say on a Sunday you don't have enough time to prepare on a Sunday or to make extra meals, because you do want to make extra meals, because during the week if you can't, you have one extra meal in the fridge. Instead of going to the grocery, maybe order food and have it delivered. That would save you about 2 hours that you could be doing something else to prepare. We also have food ready services if you could afford that. There's delivery services so you could cook your own food. There is Uber transportation. Sometimes instead of moving your car to drive, like there's so much stuff we could do. Set alarms. If you're not used to, preparing for the weather, there's Alexa that you could set that says the weather to you every morning. There's your phone. Set the phone to tell you the weather every day. So as soon as you pick it up, the weather is on the phone. And so it doesn't affect you or stress you out, all those things. Like Pastor said, you're going into a season where you're going to see more insects because it's getting cold. So everything is coming inside. Make sure you book your exterminator ahead of time so that you don't have to deal with that one stress. That's just one less stress that's going to drain your mental when you see it. Because if I see a roach around my son, I'm going to be so mad, stressed out, freaking out. But if I booked my exterminator ahead of time, I wouldn't have to deal with that.
Thank you for that very much. And what, when we talk about mental health preparedness, what comes to your mind when it has to do with some of the signs of mental health distress that people mostly face during the fall?
Some of the signs of distress, like you're beyond. I think
people face in the fall season.
You have to know yourself, and we've said this all season. You have to spend time with yourself. For me, I get a short temper. Somebody says something to me and I react right away, and then I know that my mental, like I'm getting to my limits, right? So I have to do something to come back down. Short temper. I know that when I'm a little stressed, I have a shorter temper. So you have to get to know yourself. Another thing for me, when I'm exhausted mentally, I don't want to deal with anything. Normally, if you call me and say, hey, let's this is happening, I'm on it. Let's try this, let's try that, let's resolve it. If I'm mentally drained, that has to go for another day. So I've noticed I'm shorter. I do not want to deal with stuff as much, which compounds and make you more stressed out, because when you don't deal with stuff, it comes back. So that's two for me. What about you, Pastor? How do you know you're getting to your mental limit?
Well, I think generally, I would speak just generally, because it's vary from one person to another. But to some extent, some of those signs include, I would say, persistent sadness. Sometimes you are sad by yourself. Some days you just feel like you don't want to talk. You try to get out of the shell, but something inside of you is not right. You're dealing with some internal issues. Apparently, maybe you worry about maybe the bills are coming in, or maybe you miss something and so forth, and also that internal lack of maybe I'll pull a piece. It causes sadness to people, and that kind of brings some mental distress to people. Um, what about losing appetite from eating because summer you were moving, you sweating, you heat, you drinking, you this, and now the weather is changing. So as a result, you might not be drinking the same number of the quantity of water you used to drink just a month ago compared now.
Well, in my case, excess eating. I eat more when I'm stressed out. So, like you said, it varies from person to person.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We also have not wanting to do anything.
We call it withdrawal from activities. Yes, withdrawal from activity. Like you literally say, I'm not interested. I'm not interested to doing this. And so today I don't feel like doing anything. So even sometimes you go to work, I talk about sadness, and then sometimes everybody's active. Maybe people say, today I don't want to be bothered with anyone. I
And,
don't want to be
and
bothered.
it's like, if it's one day, it's okay because you need a break. But if every day you find yourself day after
Doing
day
that,
after
that's
day,
exactly where we are now. When you find yourself in that condition, not really feeling always happy, by, with things and so forth, you feeling sad within yourself, understand that you are dealing with some mental distress.
people are not just activities, but withdrawing from people. Like, I have had certain days where um the phone is ringing and you see a particular person that you always want to talk to and it's fun, and they're calling and you're just letting it ring and go to voicemail because you just don't want to be bothered with anybody. They're not even calling you about activities just to see, just to talk, and you normally talk to them. You're letting it go to voice because you just don't feel like talking to anybody. So you're withdrawing from now things, so people as well, not just events.
Mm, mm, yeah. And so the question now, follow up, maybe I want to bring on that is when people feel the mental distress during the fall or whatever it is, um, what are some of the best maybe resources people need to look for?
Well, there's a range, right? When you feel yourself getting there immediately, there are things you could do. Like, one is my favorite things to do. Maybe, start a workout again so you can get those endorphins going. Start cooking more healthy food because we tend to order more when we're busy versus cooking home meals, right? So it depends on what need. And sometimes it's just an activity or a hobby. Do that and it lifts your spirit because you may need a break. Take a break. Try to get the children out of the house for a couple of days and take a break. And then there are people who are clinically depressed, that doing those little things are not going to help. It's just going to polish garbage, we say. I'm trying to find a better way to say it, but we have a saying called polish garbage. It's just to clean up the surface of it. um, you may need to talk to someone. You may need to go in for a mental health check. You may need to just sometimes, if you go to those government programs, there's the online service you could take to tell you how you are feeling. Because believe it or not, some of us don't know that we're depressed when we are.
Mm, mm. Exactly. And just to add on that, it's important that if you're struggling with some of the mental health distress, um, and one way you can prepare yourself to come back to normal life is to really seek help. Seek help, and you do so by through your community, right? Talk to someone.
Well, Pastor, tell us who we should talk to. Sorry.
Basically, we will in our next episode next week we'll bring these numbers to you. But there are when it has to do mental health, I would probably say primarily you want to talk to the nearest by facility, but these numbers are all online. I don't want to just take one off head now. Okay.
And
But I want to make sure next time when we come, we will be able to provide this information, project it, the numbers you can call. If you feel you're having mental distress, and you really need to talk to someone, all right? But you can talk to your primary health practitioner about it, and they can make a proper referral. That's one aspect. All right.
That's
They
a
can
that's a good
proper
idea. And sometimes, like for example, like in Philadelphia here, we have a lack of sometimes we like even my physician, it takes a month to see that physician. If you belong to a church or organization that you could
That's
speak.
exactly what I was talking. You can talk to your pastor or religious leader that you confide in. You can talk to them. But most importantly, we are also as community-based organization. You can also talk to us, and we will refer. We are not specialists in this area. Just a disclaimer. What we do is we have access to resources. Rising Up for Change. We have access to resources, or you can even talk to this radio station, the Island Vibe Caribbean radio station, and they can appropriately refer you to us, and we can channel you to the appropriate body. I mean, we are connected to a lot of resources. Okay, we are connected to a lot of resources. We could refer you to our counterparts, sponsor like Philadelphia Department of Public Health, the CDC, Center for Disease Control, and then there are other community-based organizations that we know who are specialized in these areas that we can easily refer you to them. All right. So these are all opportunities. And guess what? Some of these they come just free of charge. Some of these you literally don't pay money for it. So you don't have to be ashamed or afraid to contact. So you reach people as much as you have to, because this is all about you, and you need to really be, mentally balanced. You need to be fully uh, be in the position that will enable you to do what you love doing best, right? To continue to do what you love doing best.
I'm gonna appeal to people out there. Sometimes people just need someone to talk to. And if you are the person that someone choose to talk to, it's first if it's something you can't handle, and some people just need to talk, and then some people need more help.
Mm.
Refer them to someone who needs more help. But if it's just something small and you could listen and just extend some love to someone that just need a listening ear, it's not on us to say that's not my business, or talk other people's business, but just listen, be kind about it, and understand that when somebody tells you something in confidentiality, that it stays that way, because sometimes just one person listening to you is enough to help relieve some of that stress. So if you're the person that someone confides in and you could handle that, we're a community, or within it, that we do want to make sure professionals do what they need to do professionally. We also want to look out for each other.
That's right. And you just struck something important. I want to really touch base on that. When people share information with you, you need to use wisdom in that, right? There are some that we call it pertinent information. All right, it's so sacred or secret, whatever it is. But the point I want to make is also you need to understand the overall well-being of the person. The person may tell you that, I just want to share with you, don't tell them. But if you look at it, gravity is important. You tell the person that, look, this thing you are dealing with, you need to share it further with someone who will help you. Because a lot of people commit suicide because they try to deal with the issue internally. They don't want people to know about it. And because they don't want people to know about it, so as a result, they handle it, but they could not, they end up taking their own life, right? It's important if somebody shares something with you and you think this person is really at risk of maybe harming themselves of because of the gravity of what they are dealing with, you want to really discuss with them to say, look, I care about you, I'm concerned about you, and I really want to help you. I think even though you don't want anyone to, but I think it's vital that you talk to someone who will help you in this situation, and I can help you in that. And you can reach out to organizations like Rising Up for Change to direct you where you need to go if you don't have one. But you reach directly to, mental health organizations that are dealing with, who are specialists in those areas to help you, kind of help the person out.
Definitely. The word I was looking for was empathy. Handle them with empathy.
Mm-hmm.
This is our time, guys. This is Community Health Conversation. Pastor Daniel is here with Rising Hope for Change. We are also sponsored by the Philadelphia Health Community. Pastor?
Public health. Mhm.
Public Health. Look forward to our show coming up for the rest of the season. Again, we're going to have guests on, brilliant people on going forward. We're also changing up the format just slightly so it's a little bit more entertaining, bite-sized, lovely, all that stuff. So please continue to stay with us. Thank you for welcoming us into your home or your job or wherever you are right now listening. And for those who listen back, if you leave comments from the listen, because I know some people think if they're not watching it live, they can't comment. You can comment and we'll try to introduce it to the next show. So if
That's
you're
right.
not watching it live and you're watching the feedback, then comment regardless. We are going to take it into the next show. And again, if you have any topics you want to hear or you think we should be talking about, please let us know. And if you're an immigrant and you want to be on the show just to have this conversation with us, hit us up. We're going to welcome all of that. Again, my name is Storm Wilson. I'm here with Pastor Daniel. Any last words?
Well, today is again the first day of our next series that we'll be having for the next couple or several weeks or month. I really want to thank you for really setting the stage up today, helping our community to know what they need to know. And today, in summary of all that we have talked about, we start fall. It's a new season for this for this current state we are in now. So as children, your children go back to school or our kids go to school, it's important that you avoid delays. Make sure you prepare ahead of time. Do as much as you can during the night to prepare them as much as you can. Some people work overnight, they come home early. But do your best, whatever works for you. We know it's challenging, but your health and your kids' health is very important. Prepare to avoid unnecessary uh, delays or emergencies, right? So to avoid unnecessary emergencies, the medication to that is to prepare in advance. So prepare in advance, get your kids ready as much as you have to do so that you got minimum to do in the morning rather than taking them directly to school or having them to the bus or so forth. So we're looking forward for the upcoming series. Next week we'll be joined with the team, and you'll be seeing professionals, specialists coming on to discuss a lot of things here that will help our community. And so all we ask is, don't just watch it alone, but share this show as well. And also leave comment, leave questions, concerns, and we'll be able to address you. You can locate us at 1628 South 58th Street. There we are located, Rising Up for Change, and we're also at 3 Chester Pike, Derby, PA 19023. You can reach us at 267-969-8729. And also you can email us directly at info at rhfc.info. Okay, R for Romeo, H for Harry, F for France, C for Charlie, at rhfc.info, info at rhfc.info. Thank you for being with us tonight, wherever you've been watching us or been on this broadcast tonight. It's been a pleasure. And until then, I will say thank you. Bye-bye. Shalom.
Good night.
Good night.
Philly #1 Caribbean station.